Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Man, We're Too Old for This, here on the Eternal Network. I'm your host, the experience of some called Jason, and with me today is
CDL 113, the droid you're looking for.
The token court jester, Tarky.
And the blurred Donald DeVille, the Toddfather.
And today we're going to talk about Marvel's suing some of their creators. Well, the estates of some of their creators. I don't think any of the guys are actually still alive, but all in hopes of retaining the copyright, as it's the time limit's coming up for some of those families and estates could potentially get the rights to some of the characters back.
2 years. 20. I know for Strange and Spider-Man is 2023.
Yeah, let's see. With some of the which characters are involved exactly? I know Iron Man, Spider-Man, like what was it, Hawkeye and Black Widow.
That list is too long. Just from Ditko alone, you talking about Spider-Man, Strange, Dormammu, Wong, Caecilius.
30 plus individual characters.
Yeah, some of those being support characters for your big names, but
some being villains, and then some being literally Spider-Man.
Yeah. Because like Aaron Davis, which is Miles' uncle, Ditko's estates even got that in there. It's a freakish amount of characters, and once you add in the fact that Marvel basically said, "Well, we hitting everybody," it's pretty much their universe. They talk. They've got everybody from Iron Man to the Avengers to the Rhino, kind of in that, kind of encompassed in that.
Yeah, the thing I saw, it says, you got the Stanley estate, Steve Ditko's estate, Gene Colan's estate, and then they listed and other creators' families.
Yeah.
so probably everybody from that same era.
Yeah.
I wonder if Disney sued for Stripperella.
They never owned Stripperella.
Yeah, that was all Stanley.
Oh, that was just individual. Okay, never mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was him and Spike TV, whoever owned them.
Why? Well, hey, the family gets to keep that. Spike TV sues at least.
And they probably had a better contract. The big comic companies used to pull really shady crap. Like they would print a small contract on the back of your check. So if you actually endorsed the check to cash it, you were signing over the rights to whatever you'd worked on.
I feel like if they try to pull that, I mean, granted, like, I feel like there'd be some fights about that would keep going on for a while.
And I think a lot of those kind of practices will get stuff thrown out of their favor. It's hard for them to get that kind of real scummy stuff to stand up in court. That may even be where some of these laws about the rights reverting came from.
Yep.
Was just how kind of Wild West and out there they were back in the day.
Yeah, the deals were a lot shadier then.
To bring that back around to Stripperella, they probably had a much better contract.
You go into it now realizing that, if Marvel hires you, anything you create is their property.
Yeah. Well, the contracts are just better spelled out now, and there's like boilerplate, and
Yeah, they flat out now have it while you're working on their dime. Any character you draw, create, code words, names, all that kind of stuff, they own it.
Yeah. Well, for their books, I mean, you can still be doing your independent stuff, but
I wonder if that means there's going to be an accident where Disney accidentally sues for ownership over Evangelion characters then, because they were drawn into the Spider Girl, or the Spider Girl who had the robot spider. I don't remember her name.
Little cameo stuff that stuff that's already copywritten by somebody else. No, that wouldn't fall into that.
No, it's got to be stuff that you created while you were on their payroll. If you go stick at the time they didn't own them. Like if you stuck a ATST in the Defenders book, they didn't have rights to the ATST. They just went about that the hard way and just fucking bought out Star Wars. So, but
well,
no,
like you had some wedding over in like the Savage Dragon comic, which is a different company, I realized. And you had, guests to the wedding show up from like all these different independent, comic companies. Film Force and Captain Paragon showed up. Well, Eric Larson didn't have any rights to any of those. He just called around and asked, who he could have cameo.
It would just be funny for me if there was some kind of tertiary character that just got slammed in, and it turns out that, someone else completely owns it, and it just gets tossed out immediately. just to add some spice in the mix.
You had
Because I feel like doing something like that would also just weaken Disney's case, period. Because like, oh, you're not actually paying attention. You just threw a bunch of names in the hat.
Well, it wouldn't shock me with the lawyer that they got to do this, that like they have a suit with just Spider-Man. They have a suit with just Doctor Strange. They have a suit with just, they basically took every individual character and made each one an individual suit. That way, it's not one lump sum that gets thrown out of the case. They have to go through each character, which, like Disney being the beast they are in the money, can outlast all these families, because it's like
the trick is for Disney, outlasting may not be a good strategy, because that whole time that it's tied up in court, once you hit that deadline, if it's still tied up in court, they can't use those characters for anything until they get sorted.
So it may be one of those things where they just cut you a quick paycheck. Because like I said, you got No Way Home coming out real soon. You got Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness coming out, which is all kind of the linchpin of their stuff. Book wise, it kind of gives you a kind of explanation as to why Peter Parker is about to be in a coma or dead or something, and they just killed Doctor Strange last week in the book. So,
because they don't actually know if they're going to win this one.
Well, they're doing the typical. They do that in comics anytime those rights issues comes up. They always kind of lessen the characters that are in question. One, because I think it's one of them kind of things where they can't really use them as long as that's being tied up.
Maybe why they've started a little early instead of waiting closer to, they're giving themselves a couple of years where they won't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah. They still ain't gone to the same list that Marvel did with Liefeld, where hell they just flat out changed the whole damn character. Remember when Cable became Soldier X, and Deadpool became Agent X and all that shit because they didn't want to give Liefeld money.
Yeah.
Now, in the case of Agent X, it actually wasn't the same character.
Yeah, but you didn't know that until after they settled that and they had to write. Then Deadpool was clear again. That's even where they're it was Ecstatics, because X-Force became Ecstatics because that's where you got Dupe.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the whole point to those. When you read them, it was like, what? It kind of reminds you of, but yeah. And then once that was settled, oh no, that wasn't Deadpool. That was somebody else entirely. Oh no, that wasn't Cable. But that's kind of junk to kind of pull when these rights are kind of iffy.
What do you suppose it would do to Marvel if they lost this one?
It would thump Disney right square in the damn chest, because with C-19 the theme parks ain't really hitting like they used to. And let's say let's say this thing drug out for just a year. Well, that means Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness can't drop that. Characters tied up. Spider-Man No Way Home can't drop that. Characters tied up.
The trick is, even with the court case going on, they're still clear until you hit that deadline. So Doctor Strange is going to come out. The rights aren't, in question past when that was supposed to come out. They've got 2 years.
Yeah, because that would be what they would potentially lose.
Yeah, June of 2023, which won't hit until after Guardians of the Galaxy 3, because that's in May.
Okay.
So up to that point, everything's going to come out like normal.
Yeah, you'd have Eternals come out, Spider-Man, No Way Home come out, Doctor Strange come out, Thor, Love and Thunder, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, The Marvels / Captain Marvel 2, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So you could still get through a decent chunk of what you're doing.
It would actually be kind of funny because, the Eternals would come out, all this time we didn't interfere. Here we are. And then you never see them again.
Oh, well, let's be honest.
Or depending on how the case goes, it may be all you see.
Yeah.
You don't know because
you look through that and no, we got Kirby stuff. Sweet. Nothing but Eternals from now.
Oh, yeah, fair point.
Yeah, because wouldn't the Fantastic Four be affected by this?
Yeah.
So
Well, that's because that would
Yeah,
be
so
Stanley and Kirby involved.
they
in that
got Stan's thing in there. So yeah,
But Jack Kirby's estate, it was another previous case, and they did Marvel won that
Yeah,
one.
Marvel won that one.
hmm and even in the case of Ditko, Ditko didn't really want royalties or anything for his character. He was like, it was made him. Ain't worried about it. But I don't blame his family in the least to go in sweet God in heaven if a fucking grandfather drew Spider-Man, helped create Spider-Man, and goddamn it, I want some Spider-Man money.
Consider they've made billions off of it.
Yeah,
hey, at least you can do is pay us a royalty check. Something simple. That way our kids and grandkids go to college for the rest of our life.
It's not like a thing of they were given a broken down car and made it good. They were given a good car and kept driving it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If I saw this as a character that was worth 25 cents, and suddenly the company like rebranded him, made him a big character, and then the family jumps in, I'd be like, you do deserve some money. You were the creators. But I can see where the company would be coming from if it was a situation like that. But these are all of the most successful characters before they were anywhere, or before
But, you know,
Disney had any hand in it.
Ditko may have been perfectly aware this is work for hire. He may have been fine with it being work for hire. So, he may have been looking at it as, that's the agreement I made or whatever. But, I'm kind of with you, Todd. I understand the family's motivation here.
Yep.
And like Jack Kirby got done dirty a time or two, and if you're the family of one of the guys that the company's screwed, then yeah. Though in this case, it's the company's being preemptive because the families hadn't really done anything up to this point.
yeah. They were just we ain't gonna go through this every few years. Hell, we just gonna try and squash them all at once.
Yeah. Go ahead and get them under that blanket term of, oh, you're work for hire. You don't get a say in it.
But some years back, the Superman case, which I think we were discussing it off mic earlier, but and I brought up the fact that the guy that won that case for DC is the one representing Marvel this go around.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they beeline for the guy with the track record.
Yeah, I mean, if you're batting 1,000, why not just go back up to the plate?
Yep.
Well, most likely this guy's specialty is copyright laws.
Oh well, whoever they got, they were going to get somebody that was special
whoever
in copyright law.
They were gonna get somebody that was.
Also, it's the guy that won Superman.
Yep.
You hire the guy that wins you Superman,
That's a fair point too.
because that's basically the biggest name.
I'm so looking forward to Superman popping up in Marvel.
Yeah.
But
I'm
I
not
think
looking.
I think there's going to be some trouble because when you're suing the estate of Stan Lee, public opinion is Stan Lee made a ton of those characters, and you have interviews of him talking about him creating those characters and how he loved them, and like there's a lot of emotion in that is very publicly known.
Yeah, but that sounds like fan service, and let's be honest, Marvel's done with that shit.
Yeah.
It's better to go, you toxic motherfuckers care about you. Fuck him. He's dead. It's our character now. Hell, they don't give a shit.
Man,
Long as you plop down that $7 to $10 to go see that movie, they don't give a rat. God, I hate Disney. You going to see the new one? Yep. Okay.
If Marvel could figure out a way to wheel Stan Lee's casket into the room to get another ticket sold, they would do it.
Yep.
They won't even let them do animated cameos of him in the movies anymore.
It sounds good. Give it a minute. It sounds good. No, we won't do that. Why? Well, because we want you to forget that he had anything to do with it.
Well, in that zombie episode, you got a zombie Stan Lee.
No,
Jason?
that was Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Thunderbolt
Yep,
Ross?
You can tell by how his hair is combed. Yeah.
I like the fact that this is a fight, though.
Well, and individual cases can go different ways depending on what kind of evidence Marvel's got that the people will work for hire. Because some of these creators probably were contracted to work for hire.
Oh yeah, I don't expect this to be some kind of wowzers. Every family gets the character, because like some of them clearly were meant to be work for hire.
Be a fun world if they lost a couple of them.
I'm really interested if they lose even one.
No, I doubt they'll lose any of them. I just said it'd be interesting if they
Yeah.
lost.
If they lose one of them, they just license it from the family.
Yeah.
That is what would probably happen. Disney don't want to do that. Disney don't want anybody else getting their fingers in that pie.
But I would love to see as many fingers as possible get in that pie.
Yeah, truthfully, so would I.
And see, I guess that's my problem because hell, I actually kind of pull for them to go. They ought to get some. I don't know
Yeah.
what. If they ain't getting shit, they damn sure ought to be getting something.
No, that's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what we were
Agreed
saying.
with.
We want other people getting their fingers in
We want
Disney's
as
pie.
many of those families to get their finger in the pie that Disney's made. I hope the analogy got through to you.
And then Disney does its usual pity, makes all the characters suck.
Yeah.
We all heard you. Remember how you thought we'd never replace mutants with somebody else? Ha! Shows you. Look at all
No.
these different humans.
One thing that I'd be amused by is this fight drags out, they lose a character, and then when they try to license, the family's like, "Nah, if you,
IDW
we'll go license it to this other company,
Hey DC,
or we'll just let it languish doing nothing."
hey DC, you want to make a Scorpion movie?
Well,
I could almost see DC not licensing any of those characters
yeah.
just to
Because-
not encourage that sort of behavior, since they'd be in the same boat.
Yeah. Yeah.
But somebody like Image or who's some of the big 30-party guys, Dark Horse. I mean, maybe not the Scorpion particularly, but if one of the big characters came up,
Now Spawn's fighting Doctor Strange. How you like that shit?
I probably would.
Yeah,
I probably would like that.
Todd McFarlane buys them just for revenge for Angela. You took Angela from me. I take Spider-Man from you, son of a bitch.
Yep. Turn him
I
into
guess
a
that'd be another example of a creator and a company kind of having it out.
Yeah.
Though Gaiman did not get all of his characters back. Though admittedly, if he'd gotten Medieval Spawn back, what exactly could he have done with it?
That's true. Medieval Spawn. Okay.
And you could argue that that was such a derivative of the original character that that's probably why he didn't wind up with it.
Yeah, considering what Marvel did when Angela held it, that really helped him.
I figure what's going to happen, and this is coming from me who worked at a union, based, company where most of the employees were unionized. I figure what will happen is Marvel will win the suit, but I figure the judge will be like, "Look, you're gonna have to put the creators' names every time, like at the top of the page or something, or somewhere in the book. You're gonna have to show credit where credit is due." And the families themselves may get a small, residual check each year. Or if, like they use those characters in a movie, they get a small residual check. I don't think that the families themselves will get these characters back simply because, they were working for Marvel or Atlas or whatever, whatever companies that Marvel bought up to get characters. And there's nods to, hey, so and so created this, but it's ours now because, we can show 60 years of use that, hey, we've got this character and it was created for us by this individual. And, because you've got too many examples of that out, quote unquote, in the real world where, so and so was working for AT&T and he figured out how to make some widget in the phone better. Does that guy own that widget? Not unless he was working it in his garage on his own and copyrighted it. As long as he was doing it at AT&T, AT&T owns said widget.
It would be a patent in the case of widgets, but your
What?
point
Yeah,
stands.
but you get my point. And I figure that's where it will end up. Judge may say, look, the families deserve, 1% of said royalties, or you deserve a check each year, or if they use it in a movie, you get, 0.5% of something.
I take 1% of $1 billion.
Yeah, I would too.
Smile on my face.
Yep, and a song in my fucking.
But truthfully, this is America. I expect the people with the most money to win.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's
You get surprised every now and then, so we'll see. But that if I was gambling on it, that's how I'd be placing my money.
and I'm sure somewhere you can place that bet.
you always bet on the mega corp. They're people too,
Yeah. Yeah, technically, corporation is
Yeah,
an
that's what I'm
individual. So that's that's my call. That's where I see it happening. And even as let's say the Ditko family, Marvel goes, we'll give him credit up at the top of the page. We'll give you said check once a year, and then if we use them in a movie, boom, you get X. They'll be happy.
I mean, honestly, I will just be happy with Disney having bruised knees.
Yeah.
I'll be happy just them taking a hit from this period. But I want to see them lose something.
Well, Disney will probably lose a little bit of the cheddar. Like I say, that if
No, my dear robot friend. I am out for blood. I want to see this rat bleed.
Yeah, he wants to see Disney take a shot in the face.
I don't want to see it under the skin and a bruise. I want it coming out.
I don't see him getting a bloody nose or a black eye. Do I see him getting a scratch? Yeah, but I don't see him taking a major wound.
Nah, it'd be about like be just like if your wallet had a hole in it, you lost a penny. Hell, would you even notice?
Yeah.
Well, they might during COVID, but
Yeah,
because they're losing so many other pennies on other stuff.
But I want the hole to be there so it can get bigger later.
Not a
Wow.
big fan of Disney, huh?
Not
Right.
for a long time, I haven't been.
when the rat sends his hit mice.
Yeah.
They'll have spent more money than I'm worth, and I will die with a smile.
What happened?
We'll
What
turn
happened?
around.
What happened to Taylor? Oh, he had an accident. Cheese.
Just like the
and-
Ditko family did a few months back? Yes, just like the Ditko family did a few months back.
What was it? He had a cheese related accident.
Thanks to Tarky, when we get bought out,
Nobody's buying it.
we
They
can
could, though. We would sell out very reasonably.
for a small but noticeable fee. Yes, we will.
Noticeable to Disney? It wouldn't even have to be noticeable to Disney.
No, hell
Just
no.
noticeable to me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For a small but noticeable fee, I tell you that the mouse is the greatest thing in the world.
Jason ain't sitting there volunteering to be a shield. What are shield for? We'll act like Shang-Chi wasn't just a Dragon Ball Z knockoff. It was the greatest shit I ever. It's completely original.
Shang-Chi didn't have to be original. It had to make money. And it did that.
Speaking as a black person, I allow Aquafina to do a black scent. I'm not bad at all. How big was that check?
How many zeros were attached to that?
Not terrible at all. Barely an inconvenience.
Yup.
All right, so anybody got any final thoughts on this before we wrap up?
Nah, I figured Disney will crush the little guy like normal and keep going.
Why am I seeing the Conan? What is best in life?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's just interesting. It's just interesting drama. It's kind of all over the place. Hey, Disney's suing the living hell out of these people to get their rights there. The outcome is really not in question. Unless it is, in which case, then hell, there's more fodder for another show.
yeah,
Oh yeah. If something actually big explodes out of this, I want us to do another episode immediately of rejoicing that something exploded out of this.
We'll find some, public domain, like church choir singing. I'm sure there's a public domain version of Hallelujah out there somewhere.
You're like, hell, what's the name of this title? God is bleeding.
But though I'll admit, some of y'all are a lot more excited and into this than I am. I mean, I find it interesting, but I'm not that emotional about it one way or the other.
Oh, hell, anything that makes Disney's stock cheaper is good for me. Give a shit.
Because it'll
as
spring
long
back
as it don't
eventually.
bottom out at zero.
Yeah, as long as they don't crash the fuck out, as long as somebody still buys some Mickey Mouse, I don't give a damn. But if I looked up, it was like, hey, Disney stocks are going for $20 a pop. Sweet.
And you'll probably have a run on the stock
They
because of this.
they still got Star Wars.
They still got the mouse.
All right. So anyway, that's going to wrap us up for today. If we missed some point about this that you think we should have stated, if you'd like to tell us your opinion, feel free. You can comment below. You can send us an email at thenerdeternal@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us at our own website, of course, thenerdeternal.com. While you're there, you can peruse our shop. If you feel like supporting the show. Or, if you don't feel like spending any money on us, you can still like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Anything you can do, we appreciate. So until next week, I've been your host, the experience that some call Jason, and with me today has been
CDL 113, the droid you're looking for.
The token millennial, Tarky.
And the Todd Father.
and we will see y'all later.